What is up YouTube, and welcome to this American Horror Story video. We are now 2 episodes into Death Valley and I'm really enjoying it. There was no video last week and I am gutted I missed making a video on the Death Valley opener as I was incredibly ill and bedridden for a week. But hey, surprise bitch, I'm back. I do find it hilarious that the trend of Hollywood hotting in up of real life figures is continuing as Neil McDonough plays Dwight D. Eisenhower as he wrestles with the idea of a new president taking over and learning about the treaty he made with the aliens. JFK is now president and, well, we have an incredibly bitter Nixon in tow in Palm Springs in the 60s, warning Dwight of the liberal JFK who could do something reckless. Now, Nixon is of course biased as he notably lost the election against JFK. And did you wonder what that sweating was about? Well, if you didn't know, in a television debate when they were actually running for president with Nixon and JFK, it was kind of a new thing at a time, this whole television debate. And the modern and handsome JFK prepared for the cameras and had makeup and such and was ready for the heat of the lights. The sweating that Nixon would have during this debate would possibly lead to him actually losing the election, and Nixon went on to despise JFK. They head to actually tell JFK, who, as expected, tells his lover Marilyn Monroe. Now, the JFK casting, what was that? It looks nothing like him. But we lean into a very popular conspiracy theory that a major secret was actually revealed to John F. Kennedy, which he wanted to reveal, which led to him being famously assassinated at the time. Now here, the blame is put on Nixon and Eisenhower, so the treaty is not exposed to the public, as the public would, of course, be furious, and JFK was so ridiculously popular that they would be like, hey, thanks JFK, why did all of you kind of do this? Of course, there is the other conspiracy theory that he was killed as he was reluctant to invade Vietnam as well, but let's not go too much into that. Now, Dwight's wife would prove to be pivotal in the episode, played by the superb Sarah Paulson, who remains undefeated in her roles in AHS. It's clear that Dwight was uneasy about the treaty and the guilt of it is weighing heavy on his brain, as we cut to 9 years prior, showing the early days of the decision to take it and how his wife was pushing him to agree to the aliens' demands lest they go to the Russians, and she even recruits Nixon to pursue Dwight as well. Now, I really did like Sarah Paulson's character here. And Marmee Eisenhower, I'm not sure how you pronounce her name, I've never heard it spoken, but she was quite notably a tough cookie, and she did not like the Kennedys whatsoever. She was unhappy, and she didn't like Jackie Kennedy, and she quite notably had some disdain for her there, which is probably why she didn't shed a tear at all that Kennedy was killed. I liked how it wasn't just one and done agreeing to the treaty, as we learn Amelia Earhart, the experiment that was done on her, has failed, and come on, Ryan Murphy, what has Lily Rabe done to be served such a raw deal here? She was barely in the first half, she was a protagonist, but then it all went wrong. And now, 2 episodes in, she's dead in this second half. However, I adore the aliens taking over the 50s housewife and floating around. The effects are amazing, very B-movie 1950s-esque, which works especially with the black and white look of the past scenes. The aliens do present some radar-resistant technology and even a filament that will speed up tech. We learn their planet is actually dying, however, they can't simply take over Earth Mars Attack style because they can't live on Earth due to human diseases and need to create a human-alien hybrid. Now that reminds me of Signs, the M. Night Shyamalan film where the aliens invaded Earth. I won't give you any spoilers in case you haven't seen it. It's a very good movie and the twist is quite divisive. I find it funny how they can hand us microwave, stealth tech and more, but can't handle a tiny little sniffle. I can see why the treaty would be signed, as they can just go around blowing up everyone's heads, and the treaty allows experimentation to create these hybrids. But as the poor admiral said, it's dangerous, as it's clear they will want to take over, just like we saw in the modern day. To me, the modern day part is the weakest. The blonde dude whose name escapes me, I think is pretty good in the show, and he was also one of the best parts of American Horror Stories, as he was really good in the Influencer episode of that. However, the Luddite girl who was in the Murder House episodes of American Horror Stories is not very good. However, I will give her credit where credit's due. The writing is a bit boring, and them just camping and then pregnant is just pretty naff to me. I'm not sure I like them flitting between the time periods, as they are very, very different in quality. As them being pregnant seems corny, and not in a good way, as they go to get an ultrasound and they learn that, yeah, they're pregnant with alien babies. Okay. And the doctor is horrified and killed by G-men, and they're taken to a breeding facility. But I find it odd that while the government are backing these experiments, why are these aliens just picking them up in the middle of nowhere, leaving them to walk around and then be picked up later? Why not just keep them and take them to the facility? It seems that they are after influential people as well as Joe Nobodies, as they have Steve Jobs. Yeah, I didn't like that. But Angelica Ross appears again as a superb character, as the alien-human hybrid from a previous experiment, and it seems the 60s treaty has been maybe more in favour of the aliens, as it seems the plan is, as expected, to take over Earth for themselves, not just survive. It's pretty gruesome, as the aliens come out of the guise in any which way they can, as well. There's not really anywhere for them to come out. I'm not sure I like this. I was hoping for maybe more of an X-Files style homage, and I hope they aren't just simply in the breeding facility the whole season. But it was a decent episode. I did enjoy it. I am enjoying it. I've enjoyed the whole season except for the finale, notably of Red Tide. But I'm very curious to see how they will connect the first half. Now, they haven't said they're going to connect both parts of double feature, but I always expect the unexpected, so it's going to be curious nonetheless. I'm interested to see where this goes. The season so far hasn't felt very American Horror Story. It hasn't felt like the previous seasons, but that might be because Camp, or 1984, was so very over the top. They seem to have grounded it a lot more, and you could tell the direction they were going from American Horror Stories, which, if you haven't seen it, it's not very good. I would kind of read the synopsis of each episode and just pick and choose which ones you want to watch. But that is it for this video, so please do drop a like down below. Do subscribe with notifications on if you want more from us. I will be back tomorrow with a James Bond No Time to Die video explaining my problems with the third act. And I'll see you soon, and goodbye.